Hey everybody. Okay, so this is part 2 of our list. So coming in at number 6 we have Beauty and the Beast. Beauty and the Beast is the perfect example of a remake done right. Just like The Jungle Book, although we didn't like it quite as much as The Jungle Book, but you know, it's hard to top.
I really didn't have, like a whole big expectation for the Jungle Book, so it blew what expectations I had out of the water. Like I knew I'd probably enjoy it. I didn't think I enjoyed it that much. I really enjoyed it.
But that said, Beauty and the Beast, just like The Jungle Book, has very beautiful visuals and is very true to the original. While The Jungle Book, I think, almost tops its original. Beauty and the Beast still isn't quite as good, I don't think, as the original, but it hits it really close. Okay, so number 5, Dunkirk. So Dunkirk just proved that historical movies can also be big blockbusters, but they don't have to just be this little art house film.
It wasn't the first time a movie like that came out that was both a historical movie.
But it was the first in a little while.
It's been the first in a while though, and I think that now we need more historical movies. I think people don't, want to learn about history as much, or they want to kind of, tune history out. Like, you see, you can't focus too much on, just the future and the future. I mean, it's good to reflect on things that happened in the past too. And like I said, I'm very defensive of history, and I think that, if you forget history, you're doomed to repeat it, as the saying says. And Dunkirk was a movie it's not so much about characters; it's about the situation, and you'll just love sitting there watching everything go down, and you'll just love seeing how they all make it out. And it's just one of those movies where Christopher Nolan came in and he did not disappoint, at all. And with that said, I guess we'll just go on to our next movie, which is
number 4, Captain Underpants. I feel like we're the only people that saw this movie.
And it's a shame too, because it's our favorite movie.
Favorite animated movie of this year. I mean, it was great. I mean, and because we were big fans of the books, we grew up on the books, and it was very true and faithful to the books and very charming, and the animation was beautiful.
I mean, we grew up with these characters, and everything's on point. This is exactly how we expect a Captain Underpants movie to be.
I mean, I think it should definitely be nominated for the Oscar for Best Animated Picture, just like Dunkirk should be nominated for Best Picture, and most likely will. Okay, so that said, number 3, The Disaster Artist. Oh, hi, YouTube.
Oh, hi, YouTube. What's
the
story? If
you've seen The Room, you get that reference. But The Disaster Artist is about the making of The Room, which is considered to be one of, if not the worst movie ever made. But it's so bad as good. It's a cult classic because of that.
You're tearing me apart, you Disaster Artist.
And James Franco plays in the movie Tom Wiseau, the guy who wrote, produced, directed, and started the movie. And he plays it brilliantly. And he also directed it very well as well. And it's a shoe-in for the Best Picture nomination. We definitely hope it gets, and it was strangely inspirational in some ways.
I didn't expect it to be as inspirational as it was.
It was kind of like, because it's like everyone told this guy that he didn't have a talent. It was fair they're telling the truth though, but yeah, he still made this film that became a cult classic anyway.
Yes, determination. Tommy was so real. He was like the modern day Ed Wood. Like he just wants to make movies. He doesn't care. He just wants to follow his passion. That's what he's passionate about, and that's his dream. I say he goes for it. And if that movie gets Best Picture, then I can guarantee that Tommy Wiseau is going to be on that stage. They're going to find a way to put him on the stage, because you know what? It's something he's dreamed about forever. I say make it happen. I say let the guy finally, get something that he'll just be really happy over.
Okay, so with that said,
to go to.
Okay. First, we'll say that the top 2 almost could have been tied for number 1, but I feel like one of them just barely. Again, very, very just barely beats out the other one. So with that said, number 2, War for the Planet of the Apes. Andy Serkis gives probably the best performance I was hoping for. He needs a dang Oscar nod already. Caesar becomes the most real he has in this film. There's so much heart it pulls in your heartstrings. And just like
so much to these apes, you can't believe it.
And just like
the apes are so human.
And just like the last 2, you feel yourself fully rooting for the ape, but at the same time you do see both sides, and you see the conflict, and the visuals are absolutely beautiful. And really, if we talked about every single thing that we loved about the movie, we'd be here all day. So I think we should just go ahead and get into number one. A lot of you probably already guessed what it is. So number one is Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. Okay.
Yeah, you probably saw it
coming from a while away, just like how you saw War of the Planet of the Apes as being number two. We talk about both Star Wars and Planet of the Apes so much on our channel, but we would be lying to you if we told you that there was any film we thoroughly enjoyed more this year than Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi, because this movie not only was so much fun, but just like War of the Planet of the Apes and so many of the other movies on this list, it really was more than just a blockbuster. In some ways, it was a great piece of art. In a lot of ways, it was that, and it was a drama, and it pulled at your heartstrings, and it had heart. It's one of those movies where you'll laugh, you'll cry, you'll be on the edge of your seat, and so excited. And this movie completely topped both The Force Awakens and Rogue One as far as we're concerned. And it really only needed to be half as good as those films, but it was all that and more.
All that and more.
And this movie pretty much did everything, almost at least everything that we wanted and hoped it would do, and more. And there were so many plot twists and turns throughout it, and all the actors were great in this movie, just like how they were all great in War for the Planet of the Apes. Andy Serkis once again, who needs a dang Oscar you can just about nominate him for both because he's great in both of them. And Woody Harrelson and Steve Zahn were both great in War for the Planet of the Apes. In this film, you have so many great actors too, though, like Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher, giving arguably the best performances in years, quite some time. Adam Driver is great once it gets Kylo Ren. Daisy Ridley is great as Rey, etc., etc. And that is why Star Wars Episode 8: The Last Jedi is our number one favorite movie of this year. And you know what?
It couldn't be any lower. It couldn't be any higher.
No, and with that said,
perfect where it is.
Star Wars Episode 8: The Last Jedi. How about Star Wars Episode 8: The Last Jedi and War for the Planet of the Apes both to be nominated for Best Picture this year? Because the Oscars usually only nominate about 2 or 3 blockbusters. They probably won't, but we know Dunkirk is going to be one of those three. Disaster Artist is a little bit of film that definitely will be nominated for Best Picture, hopefully. And we want to Captain Underpants.
Golden Globe's already nominated.
Well, it should be nominated for animated film though. But how about we have the other 2 big blockbusters be Star Wars and Planet of the Apes this year. They either way at least nominated for some Oscars. They at least deserve to be nominated for some, and hopefully they both win at least one. They both should be nominated for the visuals, and they both had such good visuals. War for the Planet of the Apes made the apes look the most real they've ever been, and The Last Jedi used a great combination of practical effects and CGI once again. And I feel like we'd be pretty happy either way with either one of those films winning for visuals, because they both definitely deserve it. So that pretty much wraps up our list. And before we sign off, we just want to say that we know that sometimes the holidays can be rough, especially if we've had a lot going on. We've had a lot going on ourselves this year. It has all been bad, but we've had some deaths in the family and dealing with moving this year, which is a good thing overall. But it's
our house is great. We can't be any happier to be here.
And I know it seems like there's a lot of unrest in the world, and I seem like there's a lot of unrest in your life, but don't give up hope. And we live in a world that really shouldn't be so divided. And I feel like movies are one thing that can bring us together, even though we don't all like the same movies, and you may not completely agree with